Stamping. How are you this morning? Thank you for joining me. We're going to be making a Christmas cardigan today. What a surprise! I do have some special announcements today that I'm going to be making, so hang on to hear what's going to go on this week. We have a new catalog. I'm going to put my camera down and share a few things with you before we get started. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Our weather here is perfect, absolutely perfect. Can wear sweaters again. I love that. Okay, so we have a new catalog, and if you don't have one and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you usually work with, I would love to help you out with that. My information is linked below in my description. It's below me if you're on YouTube, and it's above me if you're on Facebook. Let me know if you need a catalog, and I would be glad to send you one. This catalog has so many fabulous things in it, as well as our online exclusives, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today. One of the things I would like to chat with you about is our World Card Making Day. Stampin' Up! Is sponsoring an event for World Card Making Day. It's free. You do need to register for it, and then you're going to get, they've promised something special in the mail to come to you if you register for their event. It's a 1-hour event. It's on October 4th. It will be on YouTube and on Facebook. They will send you, once you register, they will send you the links so that you can find it easily. To watch, you can just watch it if you want to, if you know, get ideas and things like that. Like I said, it's totally free to register and watch this event. It's from 2 to 3 Mountain Time, but if you're in the Pacific time zone, that would be starting at 1. Mountain Time, it starts at 2. Central, it starts at 3. And Eastern, that would be at 4 o'clock. So that's how that configures with their time zone to watch it live. Now, as long as you register, they will also send you the link with the replay that you can watch at your convenience, which I always find handy, because it seems like whenever something's happening that I want to watch or something live, I have something else I have to do. So anyway, I love having replays available, as are my videos are always available on replays too. Whether you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, you can watch the replays anytime that you would like. Now, if you would like to participate with their craft along, they have a kit that you can order. It looks like this. Let me get that closer. I don't have the fancy camera that zooms in, so this is how I zoom. I lift it up. I know that's really fancy. You get a stamp set, 10 cards, 10 envelopes, a card organizer, which is this box thing. You get shaped labels, twine, glitter, adhesive, embellishments, and a mini ink pad. You can start ordering it right now, I have included links in my description to register for the event. Just click on the link in my description. It's near the top. And I've also included a link to click on if you would like to order the kit that goes with it. It is $32 for the kit, and you earn Stampin' Rewards when you order the kit. And they have the description I just read to you here, and these are the stamps that come with it, and this is what it looks like. Looks like it's going to be a lot of blues, things like that. It's going to be really pretty. And Stampin' Up! The events that I've attended or watched online, they're done by those professional card makers, and they are so good, and they're just seamless. You know, they do a really, really good job of doing that. I would like to remind you of my specials that I'm running for September. Of course, your minimum $20 order, you start earning your own Stampin' Rewards that you can redeem. $40 order, you get card kits from me. You get 4 cards featuring the beautiful Gathering Together DSP, and you always earn your 10% Stampin' Rewards. So these are just some examples. I just ordered more of this lovely paper, this autumn paper, but this is the layout, and you'll get all the paper. You do need your own stamps, your own ink to stamp things, but you get all the paper cut and prepped and ready to go. You'll get 4 cards. You'll probably get 2 and 2, two of the same and 2 of the same. Okay, 2 different ones is what I meant to say. So those are my card kits for this month. If you get a $75 order, you get those card kits. You get a PDF for a different card. Now the PDF is the directions, and I email this to you. I email you the directions, okay, like this. And the card that it shows you how to make is this one. And again, it features the beautiful Gathering Together autumn paper that we have. And so it gives you all the measurements and everything that you need to know to make the Amber Autumn project sheet. Ready? Things are falling. Then, for a $100 order, you get the card kits, the PDF. You will get some gems. Oops, I forgot. You got gems over here, too. At $75, you get gems. And for as long as they last, so I have a big package of gems here that I've got to send out. I still have some silicone mats to send out, and so I will add a silicone mat to your kit. If I run out of those, I'll give you a silicone craft brush. So we'll just see how long these last. So these are brand new in the package silicone mats and brand new gems. Remember, all qualifying orders count before tax, before shipping, or any coupons or redeemed Stampin' Rewards. Okay? If you ordered the September, if you ordered before August 10th, you will be getting your September Fall for 12 paper pumpkin. Okay, and that should be arriving pretty soon. Today's the 16th or 15th. Today's the 15th. And so those will be arriving by the 20th. So within the next 5 days, those should be arriving. I know I got my notification that had been mailed. And so I'm getting ready to see this one. And it matches the Fall for 12. This is the paper pumpkin kit with the little fox and the little acorns. And this is the Fall for 12 kit, which I'm going to be using later this week. It coordinates with that. And I have not seen the October, November, December kits yet. They have not. They usually give us advertisements like this. But I haven't seen that yet, so I don't know what those look like yet. Don't forget to shop the Last Chance products. They're stuff that's on sale, stuff they're retiring. You can find it under your specials tab in your online store, okay? So don't forget to check those out. Don't forget, if you like kits, this is one of the cutest kits. I've seen people do this kit. I'm thinking of ordering it for my granddaughter because I know she'd like to do it. It's called Road to Christmas, and everything, it comes like a paper pumpkin kit. Everything comes in it, even the stamps, even the ink, you know, the glue dots, all the stuff. As I was saying, don't forget to look at online exclusives. There are pages and pages and pages of online exclusives, and they have really, really beautiful stuff. Today, we're going to be using the Elegant Pine Snowflake Suite. And we're not going to be using the paper today, but we will be this week using this lovely, lovely paper. We are going to be using some of the elements of this suite today to make our card. So I do have directions for you that I will share in a moment. I wanted to remind you, last week we did these peekaboo cards, and if you didn't see that video and the measurements that I had posted, these are just the cutest cards that open up. They stand for display like this, and they just open up with a little surprise inside. We did these last week. And I have all the measurements and everything on my video from last week and all the ideas for that. Okay. I do want to make an announcement that this week I'm trying something new. I've never done this before. It's about to kill me already because I've had a lot to do this weekend to prepare for it. But I'm doing videos every day this week because there's so many things I wanted to share with you about Christmas. And I thought, I'll never get all this done. So today I'm doing my usual live. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm doing short versions, one card, none of the advertisements, none of the announcements, just making a card, you know, short and sweet. And tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm doing a chair rail card. This is one of the examples of a chair rail card. Okay, and this is using the Delicate Pines suite of products. And I'll have some other examples for you, and I'll do one card and then I'll show you some examples. It's a very easy little card to make, you know, and I think you'll like it. On Wednesday, we're doing a back fold card. These will, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will all be pre-recorded. I will not be doing those live, okay? They'll be pre-recorded. So Tuesday, chair rail, Wednesday, back fold, Thursday, a double flap fold, and Friday is my piece de resistance. It's a beautiful card using Delicate Pines, and I call it Snowflake Snowstorm. And I think you will absolutely love it. It is just quite the card, quite the card. So today, on our card, we are featuring the Delicate Pines suite of products. Although we're not using any of the paper, the Designer Series paper. This is the card we're going to be making today. You might have seen it on my Facebook page when I advertise it. I'm going to change this because I didn't like this, so I have a different idea for that. But basically it's going to be this, and I have a few other samples of this. So mostly it features some stamping and some cutting of cardstock. Okay. So I will post the measurements at the end. I have them right here to remind me to post those. We start out with a piece of shaded spruce cardstock. All the things here. Oops. I have the sticky notes on, but like I said, I do have this typed up for you. So this is shaded spruce. It's nice, bright Christmas green. And this is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. So it's your basic A2 in the United States card base. I don't know if you knew this, but like in the UK and some other foreign countries, because Stampin' Up! Is worldwide. They use a little bigger cards, usually A4 cards are a little bit bigger, but we use these A2 cards. Okay. You need some white. The inside is 3 3/4 by 5. And I'll set that over here to remember that's the inside. Then the snowflake is going to be stamped, and there'll be plenty of room on this. I just did 4.5 by 5.5. We're going to stamp our snowflake on this one. And then the front of the card, and I have these taped together so I don't lose them, is 5 1/4 by 4, and it's going to be embossed. Okay, 5 1/4 by 4. So those are our main. I'm going to set our card base aside for a moment, and we're going to do a little bit of work to get ready. There with my little lipstick, favorite lipstick. Okay, remind myself it's down behind over there. Okay, we're going to stamp the largest snowflake. That there's several snowflakes. We're going to stamp this really big one. We're going to use that one. There's some smaller ones in here, but this is the one we're going to stamp. We're going to stamp in shaded spruce. So I'm going to bring my shaded spruce in here. And I have my largest snowflake on a big block. This is a 4 by 4 inch block. Okay. And when I do a big block like this, I usually put the block down and add the ink kind of upside down. It usually works better, and I can see what I've got stamped. Okay. Move this off to the side. No, I don't think that's very inky right there. There we go. And I'm using, since these are photopolymer stamps, I usually use my cut and pierce mat. So just stamp this, press firmly. And this, almost every time, it turns out perfectly. Just every time. So then, in my bundle, I have the coordinating die, and I'm just going to wiggle this around until I get everything about right. And I use a piece of repositionable tape. And I'm going to run this through my Stampin' Emboss machine, which I'm not going to really do, but I'll show you the sandwich that goes with it. So with your Stampin' Emboss, you're going to want to use your platform number 1, and then your die cutting plate number 2, number 3, put your image, what you're going to die cut on there, that's plate number 3, and then another plate number 3, and run that through your die cutting machine like so. That's to cut with. Now embossing is a little different, and I will grab this other one for a minute. I'll show you the embossing. So, Miracle of Television. Here we go. It's stamped and it's die cut. You can see how pretty that is. Okay. So then we take our shaded spruce, our 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and we emboss it. And when we emboss, this is a 3D folder. How many things will fall? I used Forever Plaid, this folder, and it's linked below. And I tried to put this in as straight as I could. I see that I didn't get it quite straight, but no one's going to notice. So I used Forever Plaid on this one, And to do embossing, you just need your plate number 1. If you have a 3D embossing folder, you put your paper in there, you put your embossing folder on top, and then you put your plate number 4, the gray plate, that goes on top. Okay, so there's just one embossing folder with the paper and plate number 4. That's all you need on that. So I have that. And I'm going to put my, now these little points, top and bottom, I mean, you can turn your snowflake whatever way you want to and try to get it to fit better, but some of the points, 2 of the points are going to be off of it. And I want to use dimensionals, but I'm going to be slipping some stuff under it. So I don't want to have this too stuck down that I can't put things under it. So I kind of do a triangle like that with my dimensionals, so I can slip things under it, and that will keep it perfectly adhered. And I put mine like this on top of that piece of embossed with the Forever Plaid. Put it like that. Okay. So then I'm going to put this gold foil under it like this, but I need some pieces of gold foil. One of the dies in here is this double-edged pine bough thing, and so I took this, and after I cut the foil, and I placed this diagonally so that I still have edges on every side, because that's all I need is these edges. And if you need something there or there to cut out, I mean, you still have that room. But I cut this out. I just stuck it on there with a sticky, because all I really need are those edges, and I need this pine bough thing to add. Trying not to tear it. There we go. Okay, so your foil is going to look like this. Okay, you're going to start with this, but you're going to cut out the pine boughs. It's going to look like this. And you're just going to take some glue, and be careful, because glue and foil do not like each other. If you get glue on the foil, so you'll notice I'm not going like real close to the edge. And I'm not really going too much in the middle either, because I've got a hole in the middle. And I'm going to grab a silicone mat. Dropping the glued things. So I want to put this on here. Center it. It's really hard to get it centered because it's got such a narrow border. But you can see I already need a baby wipe. Got glue on my hands. So you can see this narrow border on there. So then I've got these two, or this one, I'm going to turn this into 2. I want to, so I'm just going to cut it right in the middle. Okay. And I'm going to put just a little tiny bit of glue on the back. I don't need a lot. I'm not putting any on those edges. And I'm going to slip this under. Now it can go over the edge because it's going to go on the card base. Okay. Just a little tiny bit of glue there. And I'll slip another one over here. So I've just got those little pine boughs sticking out. All right. That's the inside. Okay, so on our piece of this outside, this is 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go on the outside. And I temporarily lost my one folder, embossing folder. It's not available anymore anyway. It was available last year. You might have it. Snowflake Sky 3D. And I use this on some of my other cards later this week because I found it. But I didn't find it when I was doing this. So you can use, to make kind of snowflakey patterns, you can use this Dotted Circles 3D. That does a pretty good job of making kind of snowflakey looking things. Or maybe you have another snowflake folder. I had this snowflake folder. It's not even Stampin' Up, but I had this one too that I liked. And I think I used it on my original one. So I'll use this dotted one because this is a Stampin' Up one. So before I place this on here, I do want to wrap ribbon around it. And you need about 6 inches of this really gorgeous ribbon. This is shaded spruce gold edged ribbon. It is linked below. You only need about 6 inches to do this. You put it about 2/3 of the way down, like this, okay? But before you glue it on or put dimensionals on or whatever you're going to do, you don't need to go all the way around it. You just need to go part way around it. So you don't need a huge piece of it. That's why I said just 6 inches. And a couple pieces of Scotch tape. Or you can glue it, but it's a little bit messy with ribbon when you glue it. I mean, it'll stay down, of course. So I'm gonna do that edge, bring it straight across and make sure it's taut. And tape down my other side, like that. Okay. All right, there we go. So we have an embossed piece with the ribbon on it. Make sure, okay, I gotta look at my example just to make sure. Okay, now I'm gonna put this on with dimensionals also. So it's gonna be, I'm just gonna do 4 on this one. Because I've got that snowflake in the middle on the other side. But I want to be able to slip a sentiment underneath this. So I'm just going to try, hoping my head's not in the way. I'm centering it side to side, top to bottom. And just press that down. Okay. So, inside, and Yes, I used these flower accents. These gold flower accents are so pretty. I just ordered some more of these because I'm going through them kind of quickly. And remember, when you get gems off of the acetate, don't just lift them off, because you probably will leave the sticky with you on the acetate. Slide them off so the sticky comes with them. Now, if you lose a sticky, it's not that big a deal because you can glue it on. You can put just a little dab of glue where you want it and stick it on, but it is easier with the sticky. So there is my card, and I've got a sentiment here. I embossed, and I'll show you how to do that just in case. But I embossed. See, I wanted something a little bit longer. I'm going to glue that, but I'm going to put a dimensional under this end and glue the very top of that because it's on the top of this raised centerpiece. I had Sending Christmas Cheer, which I liked, but I just didn't like the shape of that very much. And I thought something long and skinny and maybe embossed might look a little bit better. So I'm going to put, maybe I'm going to put many dimensional on this end, and just a tad bit of glue at the top. Just dotting some glue here at the top to kind of hold it down, because it's going to go under the snowflake, but not too far under that you can't read it. And slip it under there. Get that placed just right so most of that shows. And feels like I need more than one dimensional under there. I did not take off that paper. Take off the paper. If you're going to put two dimensionals together like I'm going to do, take off the paper. Otherwise it won't stay put. Okay, there's two dimensionals worked better. And that's so that this is about the same height as this background piece that we embossed with Forever Plaid. So 'tis the season. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this to the front. And now I can put lots of glue on this because I don't have any holes in it. I don't know how well it'll stick to that tape, but probably not very well. But I will. I'm really generous with my glue when I glue an embossed piece down. And I want to center this. Since it's glue, oh my gosh, I'm gluing it on upside down. Pay attention whether you're gluing it upside down or not, because, you know, well, not that I haven't mailed cards that have been glued upside down, because I have. I certainly have. Glue on the fingers. So I can still slip this around for a few minutes. And you can add more gems if you want. There's quite a bit of gold on the front. I think I'm good with just that one gem in the center. And I do have an inside right here that I would put. It says 'tis the season, and I think I might switch over to Peaceful Season because I really like these stamps over here. 'Tis the season, and I really like all these. Friends and family are the true gift of Christmas. thinking of you with warm feelings and a wish for all the merriest, you know, things like that. Maybe even a season of wonder and happiness. We have 'tis the season on the front. But I think I'll use one of those longer phrases, like friends and family. And I just need a block. And I need my, remember this is going landscape. That's another thing I do is I stamp it the wrong direction. I'm just going to try it here. Again, I'm using my Stampin' Pierce mat. It's looking pretty good. I think I'm getting it. Because you want to tap, tap, tap. Don't press really, really hard. And you can place this, you know, like wherever you want. I'm just going to put it in the middle today. Firm, even pressure. Okay. And I would just add a little bit of Stampin' Seal. To put that on the inside of my card. Again, upside down. I tell you, I have the upside down thing going on today. So who knows? People are probably going to get creative stuff from me this year. Okay, so friends and family are the true gift of Christmas. And you could stamp some images in there if you like, you know, whatever you want. Depends on how much you have to, or you would like to write. So what I did want to show you is I did embossing, gold embossing on this 'tis the season because I wanted it to shine like the rest of it. I could have just stamped it in shaded spruce, but I thought the gold embossing works really well. So I need some Versamark. I need my little embossing buddy because this really, really helps keep the static off of here and helps you get a really nicely embossed image. And I have 'tis the season right here, and I have my Versamark glue magic stuff here. And I'm just going to really glue this up. Okay. And I always stamp first and cut second. It works better for me. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but it did stamp. It's clear embossing glue, so it's really hard to see. So then I bring in my embossing powder and I sprinkle liberally. And have a piece of paper underneath. Oh, didn't quite get that T. There we go. So a dry paintbrush is your friend to brush away the little pieces that you do not want. Now try not to touch any of the letters. I'm going to sprinkle this just a little bit more on season. Yeah, I caught that better. Must not have gotten that embossing buddy over on that part. Okay, 'tis the season, so don't touch that because until it's dried with the heat tool, it will come off. And then I just take my piece of paper. Now, of course, we have this really handy dandy fancy embossing kit that is great, but I've had this stuff and used paper for a long time, so that's what I use. I have enough of this stuff that now another handy thing to have is these reverse tweezers, because holding, excuse me, my key tools on the floor, holding this in your hand can get kind of warm. So I'm just going to warm this up under the table a little bit for a second, and I'm going to heat emboss, and this is going to turn glossy just like the other one did, and then I'm going to cut it out with some dies. I'm not really going to cut it out, but you know what I mean. So it just takes a minute until it starts turning glossy. Shiny. Now you can go too far with this and burn it. So you want to be really careful that once it's turned shiny and glossy, you can see that shine, it's done. It's done that quick. And if you let your heat tool heat up a little bit, it does work a lot better. And I used, oh yes, here it is. I used the Textured Notes dies. I used this long skinny one, and it does fit on here, to cut this out. Okay, I used the long skinny one to cut it out after it's all heat embossed. And then that's where I got my 'Tis the Season right here that fit nicely down here at the bottom. And that is the card for today. Now, I thought to myself, you know, this is such a pretty card. It didn't use DSP. There's not a lot of pattern, you know, going on with it and everything. Let's hope I can find this. Oh, there it is. Found it. I should put this away while I'm thinking of it. Get a few things out of the way. Now I have some measurements for you and some other examples for you, because, oops, I made a mess there. We did the shaded spruce, which I just love that. I love kind of unconventional, unexpected colors in a card, a Christmas card. And some people don't. Some people like really traditional stuff. And it's not like I don't like traditional stuff. I do. But I think it's kind of fun to show, you know, not traditional things. Now, green and gold, that's really fairly traditional. But I did make this card. Now, I didn't have time to stamp. I was up really late last night doing these when I thought, oh, I need to make some other colors. So I did one in Misty Moonlight. And after I did it, I thought, man, I wonder how that would have looked with silver instead of gold. And I didn't think of that until I had everything cut. But I thought, that probably would have looked kind of cool in silver. Now, I did not have ribbon like I did for this. So what I did was I just cut a piece. It's 1 inch wide and 5 1/4 inches long, a piece of Misty Moonlight, and then I put a little gold stripe in there to kind of emulate this really skinny gold stripe. I couldn't make it that skinny and do top and bottom. I was just like way too hard to do that, so I just added a little gold stripe in there. Or with Misty Moonlight, silver would look pretty good. And then I didn't do the sentiment, but that's where it would go on that. And then I decided to do a Melon Mambo one, and I thought that was kind of pretty. And again, unexpected, you know, but still clearly a Christmas card. And I added the gold and everything to that the same way, because I didn't have the ribbon. So I cut a piece of Melon Mambo, 1 inch wide, 5 1/4 inches long, and I did use that embossing folder on these 3 examples that I'm showing you. That is from Stampin' Up with the snowflakes, but it was from last year. Okay, and then I thought this one was really striking. I used black and crumb cake on this one, and I really kind of liked that one with the gold and everything. It looked very striking with that. And I did all the same things, and so I didn't have ribbon. Not why I had some black ribbon, but it was skinny and didn't look good. I put it on there. I didn't like it, so I just cut my black 1 inch wide, 5 1/4 inches long, added a gold stripe, and made one out of this. So as you can see, you can do this shaded spruce card with different colors. You know, I mean, it's just whatever you like, and how you might do that. So take a screenshot. These are the directions for this card with the measurement. Well, it's not the directions, it's the measurements. The directions were what I did for you on the video. But everywhere I said shaded spruce, you know, you could change it to melon mambo. You could change it to misty moonlight. You could change it to black. I mean, whatever color you want. But the measurements are all going to stay the same. And then I tell you to emboss. Then the basic white pieces for the inside, to stamp the snowflake, the top layer or the matte, emboss that, the sentiment. Then the gold foil comes out of the middle of that piece of foil, remember, to make these little branches that come in the kit, or the bundle. That came right out of this piece of foil that's right behind here. It wasn't an additional piece of foil. We just used that. And so that was 3 3/8 by 3 3/8, and cut out the double-edged pine out of the middle. And then for embellishments, you can use the pine, of course, and you can use the ribbon on this one, and you can use cardstock on these others if you don't have ribbon, which I did not have ribbon. The flower accents, as many as you like to scatter all over the place. Anyway, those are the directions, and so just take a screenshot of that, and you'll have your direction, or your measurements. I keep saying directions. I do mean measurements. So let me turn this up. There we go. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope my other shortened versions of my Christmas videos that I'm playing this week are going to be at 9 o'clock each day. I'm pre-recording them. I'm not doing all the chit-chat and announcements, blah, blah, blah. I'm just making the cards and showing you some folds. I will give you measurements, just like I gave you measurements for this one. I'm giving you measurements so you can recreate the cards with whatever paper you have, and I have a few examples to share with you. So I hope that you will join me this week for Christmas week, and we'll make some cards together, okay? I'm doing this is really great for me because I'm getting my Christmas cards. I usually send out about 100, and I'm probably halfway there with making all the cards that I've been doing these last few weeks. So anyway, so thank you for helping me do that. I hope to see you tomorrow. Anyway, the videos are always available for replay on Facebook for 30 days and on YouTube forever. So I hope that you will join me and make some Christmas cards with me. I'm also going to make some fall cards though too. I'm throwing some fall cards in there using the same folds that I'm going to be teaching you. So we'll see you later, alligator. And I hope you enjoyed today. Thanks.